What I wish I knew at
Bro.
18 instead of 28? That Young Elder News 9 would be my go-to for all things news and more. Broadcasting live worldwide, we've got over 3 million listeners tuned in every day. From world news to stock markets, government topics to the quirkiest stories, we cover it all on Young Elder TV. And remember, folks, you heard it here first. Our friendly team brings you the latest scoops with a dash of that good old Southern charm. Whether you're curious about the latest political twists or need the lowdown on the economy, we're your go-to source. We make sure you're always in the know, in the most engaging and entertaining way possible. So buckle up, y'all. It's time to dive into the world of Young Elder News 9, where the news is...
And the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under it.
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown letter. Peace.
Young
To
TV.
you. Hit that like.
Hey, peace, Robot. Thank you for coming out to kick it with us tonight. We got Chief Skype 8 back at the North Gate. We got a lot going on, a lot coming up. We'll take a lot of questions, but we got something special planned for you tonight, dealing with the Afrocentristics. Hey, Chief, tell them why we got going on, why I set it up for you.
So today we're gonna go over a definitive hairstyle that's synonymous with us over here, but has been given credit to foreign sources. So this is the last one, now. Then we'll come back to that one. Okay, so
it's this one right here.
that's last. When we come back to it, you'll see what. That's the last one. Yep. So here you're starting to see pictures of afros, right? This common hairstyle commonly referred to an afro. But the afro term was coined in reference to the hairstyle in the 60s. Then a lot of the chiefs wear this hairstyle during wartime. And normally all of the soldiers cut their hair, and the chief is the only one with a full afro. Now, the reason we bring this up is because we want to go into what did the people of the land call the afro when they got here. The original name of the afro is named after a tribe. So the war bonnet, the full feather war bonnet, is because the general, whether it was Sick Bull, Crazy Horse, whoever is the commander of military contingent is out front. We didn't fight like Europeans who fight from the back. The leadership is in the back of the troops. We led our troops in the battle because we trying to take the king of the tribe. We're not trying to murder everybody, right? We're not trying to wholesale mass execute everybody. But this hairstyle had the same significance to old Mississippian tribes going into Louisiana, going back to other way into Alabama, Arkansas, and Georgia. We wore this style to be seen by the soldiers, right? A lot of times when we wore this style, some of the tribes, they had different traditions for the soldiers. So we're gonna go show a few more images of different prominent individuals during the struggle. Now, this is an ancient picture of an Afro chief. Well, not ancient, it's probably about 100 years old or so. But this is what we would call an Afro chief. Now, you see, he got one feather. That means if he got one or two feathers, he's the new initiate as a chief with one feather. If he got two feathers, he's what you call a scout chief. The scout chief go and spend time with different chiefs across the land in order to learn what the chiefs are doing to benefit their people, right? So the one feather is he a new chief. He's just coming in. He haven't earned all his stripes, but so far at this point, he's stand up solid.
Right.
So we go to the next one.
Oh, that ain't supposed to be part of yours. I will come back to that. I don't know how they get it. I don't know what the hell. All right, that's it right there. Okay,
this is a rap group from the early 90s. Some of us remember them, but they called the Afros. Right. But they all four of those dudes know they indigenous to the land. They are organic original to the Americas. And they was making a parody about the Afro in the music and culture. Right. So this group is called the Afros. Y'all can look them up and listen to some of their music. But the Afro, for them, they was using it as a parody, as in don't forget the Afro Chieves. So they make a joke out of it. So we don't talk about it, but we need to talk about it. That's why they made the joke.
Okay.
Right. So it tells us this is a subject that people got to understand about the hairstyles that we wear. They all have a purpose. Okay. Now go on the next one. I forgot her name, but she is an actress. Right. And many of us thought she was pale face, but here she is with an Afro identifying ancient American culture. She's pretty too. Next. Rhoda Cone. This is Solange Knowles, better known as the little sister to Beyonce. But she know who she is, and she wear the Afro, and she don't always agree with her sister or her brother-in-law. As a matter of fact, they've had many clashes between what should be done and what's actually being done. And they'll tell their own story in due time. Next one, Elder.
One of them is he got Kelly Rowley pregnant.
Okay, this right here is Diana Ross, formerly known as the Boss. Well, I think they still call her the Boss. But here she is wearing an Afro during her Motown days, right? Remember, in the tribal systems, women are chiefs too. We gotta remember that part. But when you see them with the Afro like this, that means that they out front for you to see them as a member of one of the tribes. Roll the corn, next one. This is Angela Bassett. Whatever we say about her or think she is or is not, here she is representing for the tribes with the Afro.
Right. Fire.
Right. Roll the corn. Next one.
Yeah, she Creek. She Muskogee. She's Muskogee. Well, we already checked it.
Here is the warrior that is one of the reasons why we use this as a moniker calling card to war, the Afro. Big Tookie, Cricket Man Walking. Raising Dion. Y'all see you see that cloud that turned into a physical form?
Yeah, Dallas.
Yeah, that's Big Tookie. He can do that from the Astros. He can accumulate the clouds around him, but you're gonna see some lightning in the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
If you see, it's the same as the parody is performed in the show called Raising Dion. Right. In Raising Dion, you see him in his what we call his pure God form, which is walking lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of those boys see walking, they charge in the atmosphere with electromagnetic energy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because the crip walk is the charging of the electricity, the earth is grounding. Magnetism.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you see in one of them experts crip walking, they harnessing the energy of Big Tookie.
Mm-hmm.
Crip walking is mimicking him walking chained up on death row.
All right, go ahead.
Roll the coin next one. Here you see my chief. This is who I grew up in my tribe recognized as our chief. This is none other than Larry Hoover. You see him wearing the afro.
Right.
This was a fingerprint of old Mississippian Afro tribes. Right? So you see, he even got his boys in afros.
Right.
Roll the coin. Let's see who we got next. Another picture of Larry in his afro.
I thought that looks familiar.
Here's Chief Malik Angel Bay. He got his afro under a hat. So he had to cut his afro with a slightly different design. But if you know Chicago culture, when you see him with that hat over that afro, he's telling you that he's not only an Afro chief, you got to look at that hat. Jefe Blanco in Latin, the chief with the white hat, or the great white chief. He's telling you that he's supposed to be the lawman on the land. This guy right here, responsibility to the collective tribes is to bring and unify all of the warring tribes under one banner to defend the homeland. The problem is the government knew who he was. He was him and Larry both in Chicago, as well as King David, Big Bull, Mickey Cogwell, all of Booney Black. All of them were on the list of people needed to be neutralized by COINTELPRO.
Right.
Right. But you see, the Afro is still telling us who to look at out front. Let's go to the next. Roll the coin. This Huey P., one of the co-founders of the Black Panther Party for self-defense. Mm-hmm. Just for the record, it was him, Huey P. Newton, and a guy named I got his name on the tip of my tongue, but my brain locking up on me trying to say it. Bobby Seale.
Oh, okay. I could have told. Yeah, I know too.
Okay, they are the co-founders of the Oakland branch of the Black Panther Party. Right. For the record, Bobby Seale is a university professor now and no longer participate in activist activities. And I'm going to leave that where it's at. Roll the coin. Let's see who next. Angela Davis herself, she made us recognize the iconic status of the Afro. She was a close friend and comrade to all of the Oakland leadership, as well as Jonathan and George Jackson and several other chiefs that we don't remember. She was supposed to be with Jonathan Jackson when he got killed when they was going to the courthouse, but Jonathan Jackson told the driver to run off and leave her because he didn't want Angela Davis to be held accountable for what they was about to do. So they left her. That's the only reason she wasn't there when the shootout went down. Roll the coin. Assata herself, I sure wish she could have had a chance to come home. But
Right.
no crying over spilled milk. She's still gonna get her reward because she did a righteous work. But Assata territory was the New Jersey territory. This is where she was supposed to be the tribal mother at. But the government had other plans for her, and they decided that they wanted to brand her as a criminal and kill off the people that was with her, who was also other chiefs that was her family. So they killed them all off except for her. So I think she was the sole survivor. No, it was one more. I think it might have been Seiko Odinga that was with her, or he might have been one that came to help get her. But those was only like 2 people left after the shootout, the alleged shootout with the police on the turnpike. We think it was an ambush. None of us who studied the history of the Assata Shakur court case believe that the Panthers or the Black Liberation Army or whoever you want to call them at the time decided they was just going to kill some state troopers. That's not what happened. They all named, all of those people that was in that car, name is on COINTELPRO neutralization list.
Right.
In government terms, they don't say assassination, they say neutralization.
Right.
Right. And she survived. So rather than allowing her to be free and tell her story and rally the troops, they had to isolate her. Military strategy 101. If you capture a commanding general for the other side, you don't kill them. You quarantine them because you're going to know that sooner or later the soldiers are going to attempt to mount extraction of the general, and you use the general as the bait to create a trap to get the most soldiers from the other side as possible. And this is what made her decide to engineer her own escape rather than let the soldiers do it, because it's different when you escaping from an inside perspective than when somebody's coming to get you, right? But they was coming to get her one way or another. Roll the corn. The king himself, Michael Jackson, before they tried to assassinate him and set him on fire, this was the GOAT in the music industry. At this point, this was around right before Off the Wall, right? But they whole family were Afros. Now, they still trace back to old Mississippians by way of Gary, Indiana. Right. A lot of us don't know that. Both his mother and father can tell you they original tribal heritage from the land, even though they think that they Black. But Black is just a fictitious term used to confuse the minds of the masses. Roll the coin.
Oh, I don't know how they got it now.
Oh yeah, that's my girl right there. That's what's her name?
Not Foxy Brown. What her name?
Pam Grier.
Yeah, Pam Grier.
And Pam Grier played any role that would make a woman look as powerful as possible, considering the scripts she was given. If she didn't look powerful and able to stand up on her own, she didn't take the role. She didn't want to be the damsel in distress. She wanted to be the mama with the big gun coming to get the soldiers from out of the pressure.
Right.
So you see all her movies, she's always either toting a gun or something. She's doing something to indicate this chief here is powerful and she coming to the rescue.
And you can tell that she a far people because of how her hair look. It's a far hairstyle. Yeah.
This is the general himself, George Soledad Jackson, brother Jackson. The Soledad letters, commonly called Blood in My Eye, and his seminal work called I forgot the first book he wrote, but he had two books. One of them is a book of letters, and one of them is his take on the struggle from different perspectives. We're going through different things of how he analyzing these people's motives and their resources and means. So this is the founder of the Black guerrilla family and one of the first military counselors to the original Black Panther Party. He started the Black guerrilla family because he believed that Eldridge Cleaver and people like him was changing the Black Panther Party into something other than what its intended purpose was, which was to liberate the people from the tyranny of government. Right. So when he left the Panthers as the military advisors, this is what made Geronimo G. Jagger Pratt have to come to LA, because they needed another military strategist. And he specialized in that during his term in the war. I think he was fighting in Vietnam. When he came back, his elders in Mississippi say, we need the Panthers in Oakland need a military strategist and advisor. We want you to go out there. He tell the story himself, right? But what most people don't know is he was already a Black Panther before the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was created. The first Black Panther Party was out of Mississippi. And then you had the Black Panther Brigade, which was made up of the male members of some of those clans, made the Black Panther Brigade, who went in to World War II fighting under General Patton. General Patton said out of his own mouth, and y'all can go verify this, that he called them by their brigade number. I think it was 151, but I'm not sure. So you have to look it up. Black Panther Brigade. He said they would be the ones to liberate America from the tyranny that was coming. So he knew tyranny was coming, and he said that without the Black Panther Party or the Black Panther Brigade members, they came into civilian society, became civilians. But that didn't mean that you don't see the war at home. You just came from fighting one overseas, and you come back and you still fighting the war at home. You know something is wrong and something got to be done. And then from there, you get other groups that was defending the land with different names over the years. Raw the corn. Now, this one right here ties to the metaphysical value of the strands of hair that make up the afro, which we call it the nine ether, right? And the first person to explain to us in intricate detail the nine ether was Malachi Z. York. But the information that he was teaching under nine ether information still comes in by way of, they call it African root science or Black root science, right? Which ties to other prior incarnations of the root science being fed to us, being spoon-fed to us. So let's see what we got next, Elder. Okay. You want to read this? You want me to read it?
Can you see it?
Yeah. Powers of nine ether, the sum total of numbers. There are no numbers actually higher than nine. Nine ether is the combo of all existing gases of nature. Thus, all is in all. Therefore, nine ether is the most potent power in the universe. 9 to the 9th power of 9, which is actually 3 nines, 999. 9 is symbolic of heaven, creation, and birth. 9 is a number whose square root is 3, a number which is symbolic of 3 dimensions. Hika abode of mortals, Sia, abode of Elohim, Huhi, abode of the Most High. Nine ether is placed in the follicle hair case of all woolly, nappy-haired people, and it produces the nine symbol. The number nine is the highest number in the universe, making nine ether beings infinite, meaning immortal. Right? And remember, 9 in the sky is 6 on the ground, and vice versa. Go to the next one, Adam. Roll the corner. This is a demonstration of what we just read, and what it looked like at different stages of growth. If you can look at the picture on the top left, right, that's called a galactic swirl. But in common native terms, we just call it a cowlick. But it's really called the galactic swirl. And based on, like, this person has the galactic swirl on their left side. This is the daddy's boy.
Yeah, you go to the left. Yeah, okay. That's fire.
Okay. Only reason I'm not going to read over the follicles is because we're going to read the same thing in another clip. This is when you allow the nine ether to grow, it begins up taking this form. But in order for it to take that form, you don't have to do much. But over time, if you're laying down a lot, sitting down a lot like we do, you're going to have it flat in the back or flat on the sides like mine is now from laying down and sitting down, packs it down. But generally, this is nine ether. When the women tap into it, and they feeling themselves, the swagger that comes with it is called black girl magic.
Fire.
Which ties you into dream visions, the symbol of the owl, all that goes through black girl magic. Black girl magic is what you call a dream guide. And she can guide you through a night vision or a dream and help you to remember the dream if she's tapped into her own inner magic. Black girl magic ain't no joke. Ask Erica Badu.
Yeah, that's my girl right there.
Baduism is an extension of black girl magic.
See who know. On and on and on and on.
Roll the corn.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, now, this is why I didn't read it earlier, because this is where we're going to go over what the nine ether is. This is directly out of a Malachi York book. Nine ether is the highest of all spiritual powers activated through nature and the hormones of the human Elohim. Manifesting 9 to the ninth power of 9. See, blow it up a little bit more, Elder. I want to see the nines.
Blow up.
See 9 to the 9 to the 9?
Yeah, 999.
Right. That's what I was saying earlier. It's 9 to the ninth power of the ninth power of 9, which is the highest of supreme mathematics as seen in our hair texture. The number 9 is a symbol of birth. We have a natural curl in our hair that shapes like a 9. We, the Elohim, lost our spiritual powers long ago when we interfered to change our 9 ether sheep-like woolly hair to emulate the 6 ether goat-like straight hair of Azazel, the fallen one, another name for Samael.
Which means pausing those of El. Samael means the pausing those of El.
So you see the difference in the follicles, show you the 9 ether versus the 6 ether.
Right.
The star-born versus the earth-born.
Right. All right. Yeah, so I made more examples for your what you was talking about right here.
Yeah, you can do the dialogue on this one now.
All right, so yeah, this is what the 6 ether is right here. Naturally, we don't have, our people don't got this type of hair. We usually straighten it out or add the Hindu 6 ether hair to it, right? So really, this is just a Caucasoid type of the sixth ether is really like it's not even hair really classified as hair technically. It's really fur, according to what Doc was saying. All right, so this is the 8 right here. Most of the Native Americans, like Doc said, got the 8, and that's why we can get the waves. Most of us got the 8. Now some of us got a 9 too. Some of us got a 9. I'm gonna show that too though. But this right here is what the 8 look like, and most of y'all got that right here. You can get the waves. Most of y'all over here.
Hold up here. Hold up before you go any further. Go back to that picture.
All right.
Okay, now the difference between 8 ether, 9 ether, when you looking at how the pattern of the hair is laying on him with his brush waves, the distance is shorter between 9 ether waves, 8 ether waves, and 7 ether waves.
Okay.
That's how you can look at a person and you can tell if they 9 ether or 8 ether by the distance between the wave. So the ones that got the real short waves, that's true 9 ether.
Yeah.
When they have the large dipping waves, that's either 7 or 8 ether.
Right.
Oh yeah, roll the corn.
Yeah, if it's more straighter than his, it'll be a 7. But then see, here's an 8. Here's an 8. Then you got I got it in here. They're gonna show you though more. Now this right here is talking about it says from high vantage point. Oh, yeah, okay, talking about the trees, right? About the trees being like the afro, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what it say right here, right at the top. It says from a high vantage point, the rounded, dense canopies of many trees resemble afros because of the natural outward growing pattern. Right, the phenomenon is influenced by several factors, including the tree's genetics. Listen at that. Hey, this is deep, bro. You might have to interpret this complex competition
for sunlight and a biological drive to maximize least exposure. So what it's telling you is nature following the path of least resistance, the natural structure of this tree, which mimics the 9 ether of the hair, is the optimum shape and structure in order, what it say, maximize photosynthesis. As they grow toward the sun, trees undergo a process called phototropism, which is the tendency to grow toward a light source. To maximize photosynthesis, the outer branches and leaves of the tree grow outward and upward toward the sun, creating a rounded shape.
And that's what our hair is. And look, that's why like fur 6 ether, it go down. When it come out the hair and it go down. But 9 ether, it go up towards the sun. Doc had broke this down too in that same book where you found that other piece.
9 ether, yeah.
Yeah.
And, that's the science of 9 ether, I think, is the name of that scroll.
Yeah. Yeah. So like you can see the resemblance of our hair and how it's nature. Our hair is a part of nature. And it grows towards the sun. The sun is pulling it up instead of like 6 ether going down, right? Here's some more pictures of just our different hairstyles and representing in Mother Nature right here. The afro is the most prominent one as far as the trees, but like it depends on even with like I'm gonna tell you something else, Raw. Even in certain areas where people wear their hairstyle a certain way, if you look at the trees resemble those hairstyles. Like even in Jamaica, in certain areas, like you got more of a jungle, dreadlock looking type trees.
Yeah, which is commonly called the species of ferns that you're speaking of. But they like some of them grow like a big tree instead of a bush plant. But yeah, you got different trees that represent different hair patterns. Like the big locks represented by the flat leaves of the palm tree. You ever see the big fat locks?
Yeah, the
big fat lock. Yeah, it looked like more like a mat than a lock. Yeah, that's palm. Those represent palm leaves.
Fire.
Which is a whole lot of metaphysics tied to that. Roll the corn.
All right, so I predicted that because we talking about the afros, right? So I noticed that by around 1970, they came out with the Jerry curl, right? The Jerry curl that was invented in 1970 by American hair care enterprise Jerry Reddian and popularized in the 1980s within the Black community by entrepreneur Cartel. Within, so like what I'm getting at is when they saw how powerful we was with the afros, because that was during the time of the Black Panther movement, all of our movements that were building self-awareness and pretty much doing for self. They and our hair is antennas. It's another slide there for to explain that. But they came out with that Jerry curl. What you think about that, Rob? When they came, when we was Black Power with the afros, they countered that with the Jerry curl. I believe they countered it with the Jerry. That's what Doc said too, though. What you think about the Jerry curl?
The Jerry curl was, we always knew how to change the texture of our hair.
Mm-hmm.
When you go back to Malcolm's biography, talk about when he got conked. Remember conk?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Conk was a mixture of egg whites and light. That's why a lot of the dark-skinned tribes look like they got 6 ether hair.
Mm-hmm.
Because they was conking it.
Hmm.
But that's because they was identifying with other dark tribes that had the naturally 7 ether hair, which was big waves that fell down like Chief Warhorse hair.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we always knew how to change our hair's texture. The Jerry curl was the revival of the early 20s conking movement, which traces all the way back into Mississippian culture. Because if a man married into a straight hair tribe and he had an afro, he had to know how to conk. Because the straight hair people didn't know how to tend to the 9 ether hair. But by conking it, they know how to manage the 6 ether hair or the 7 ether hair better than the 9 ether hair. But it was also tied, your hair is tied to a receiver in your brain to translate the information around you into comprehensive knowledge that you can use. Medusa didn't have snakes in her head. She had dreadlocks, or what we called sacred locks back then. In the sacred locks, a lot of the ones who wore them was able to shoot what we call it static electricity today.
Mm-hmm.
They knew how to snap their locks and make them shoot that static electricity in a destination or a location, and it was like being struck by an electric eel.
Makes sense.
The energy was the same as being struck by an electric eel. But for us to never study the dread or the locks, they told us that she had snakes in her hair. The Jerry curl was a cultural phenomenon to embellish the natural self-hate of the oppressed and to utilize hair products to express the rage or the rebellion. Right? Jerry curl wasn't the only one, because all it is an extension of the conking culture of something that we already knew how to do. It was, you used to have to go to New Orleans and wherever you was on the land to get conked. That's a FYI.
You know what? That makes sense what you're saying, because I see pictures now that when you start talking about it, my mind started flashing back to all the pictures that I seen of the old Mississippians and how they looked and how their hair looked. And I'm thinking that when you look at his hairstyle or look at the wig party, when these guys came over with the wigs after the Dirty Moors, right? After the Dirty Moors front man, they came over and started putting the wigs on. And the wigs resemble like a curl. And this right here before 1970s, right? So But then you got another group that paints these like the 1970 agenda to get rid of the Afro power, So what do you think about that? Like the agenda to get rid of the Afro, the soul glow, let your soul glow.
Well, we always did stuff with our hair. If you look through the ancient, whether they're hieroglyphs, whether it's the pottery and petroglyphs of the Americas, you always see us, the men and the women, doing different types of adornments with our hair. You had a whole wig collection discovered in temples of Cairo because we invented the wig. It was part of priestly garb. See, when you was a pharaoh, or not the pharaoh is actually the lady of the house, the AI, right? When you were the AI, which they commonly point to as the pharaoh, but he's the pharaoh's husband because the pharaoh is the lady of the house.
Right.
So when he come out, he might have headdress on.
Right.
It's a pomp and circumstances. So he might change based on the ritual. So it's best for him to shave everything off and only wear the ceremonial expression of the energy in wig form instead of letting his own personal hair grow. He can then do multiple ceremonies a year without having to worry about having his hair done over or her hair done over in the case of Hatshepsut, because she used to wear wigs over her hair. And so it was all about telling a story to the people in your appearance, right? So when I play the character Rod the Madman, I'm showing you the distress of our people in my appearance while I'm telling the story, which gives you a visual aid and it causes the intellectual bridge between your right and left brain hemispheres.
You see that, Rod?
Hair can function like a biological antenna, not just physically by detecting touch and environment, but also a spiritual antenna in some belief systems to absorb and transmit energy and information from the universe. Now you see where it's a transmit, right? Energy.
Yeah. Oh,
that's describing when Medusa is shooting them with her hair, she's emitting energy from her hair. Right. Now, while scientifically hair consists of dead keratin cells, its connection to the skin's sensory nerves, remember I said the hair got connections that go straight to the brain, allows it to act as a sensitive touch receptor, warning of danger or environmental changes. Culturally and spiritually, many traditions view hair as a conduit for spiritual energy. A conduit is something that translates something from one state into a whole different state. In this case, a spiritual conduit into the physical environment, right? To say, with some believing long hair enhances this connection, aiding intuition and spiritual development. And that's why my father had to tell me about my great grandma having her hair down past her ankles and dragging on the floor. That's a sign of rank in the tribal system. And this is why my mama used to have a fit when my sisters, especially my baby sister, cut her hair. Because now when she on the land and other tribes see her, they won't know her rank because she keep cutting her hair. Right? And her hair at one point was down to her butt. when she was a little girl. But when she got to be older, she decided to cut it. And my mama was having a conniption about it, and she didn't know why. And at the time, I didn't think she'd listen to me for me to explain it to her. And I still don't.
Hey, this part right here talking about the perm. That's what I was gonna ask you about the perm. So Raw, do you think women should still do perms? Because it's a lot of chemicals in the perm that like
Look, I don't care what nobody do with their physical self.
okay, go ahead.
You can take care of yourself or don't take care of yourself. That ain't none of my business.
Go ahead.
If people got enough sense to know what they putting on their hair or on their skin, if they got enough sense that they should have read the bottle and seen what it was and they didn't, then they deserve everything to come with that. If you don't know what you're putting in your stomach and you keep getting sick, you're supposed to until you figure out what it is making you sick. Right? We don't tell from under growth and development. Remember, my chief Larry Hoover. We don't micromanage people's life. We try to help people enhance how they live their life by giving them information that they didn't have before they met one of us.
That sounds good.
Right? In growth and development, we don't see the seeds of divide and conquer as our first course of action. Instead, we try to find a common ground to establish an unprejudiced relationship between two people. That's why we don't get into the race discussion, because you got some pale faces more loyal to Larry Hoover than some of his own soldiers that look like him from his background.
Right.
Right. We got one that we used to call white folks. Right. He gonna ride out. He gonna ride harder than any brother. They be seeing him ride and they be like, man, I ain't messing with him. Dude off chain. But he's trying to prove his loyalty harder than everybody else. Right? And he ain't on no, he's sincere. Because his heart's sincere while he's trying to prove himself, if you don't see the sincerity of your heart, you cannot possibly believe anybody was that serious. But when you see the authenticity, it takes away from what he looked like. And then it judges him on what is his character. Right? So we got a different way that we deal with other people than all the rest of the tribes. But then you have also growth and development Black nationalists who look at the politicized version of Afrocentric thought under the banner. They not wrong, because if standing from the position, let's assume that everything they told us is true, what is we supposed to do? We have to cover that base. Right? Now, what if everything they told us was a lie? How do we know what to do? So now that's my responsibility. I got to cover that. I got to show you who did it, why they did it, where they did it, when they did it, and how they did it. If I can meet them to explain to you the deception, you should no longer be susceptible to fall for the deceit. If once you done heard the message and you still continuously fall for the deceit, then your desire is to be deceived. Because contrary to popular opinion, more people want to be lied to than told the truth, because the truth hurt.
Think so do.
And the lie massages egos. So they want you to massage their ego with the lie rather than tell them the cold, hard truth. And that's most people. If you tell them the truth, most of the time in this era, they say you was talking about them, or you was being mean to them, or that you evil. because you told them the truth, because people scared of the truth. Because then they had to deal with the fact that they pretended that they was going to live this lie without knowing it's a lie. And the whole time, because they didn't tell it to themselves, they allowed the lie to take hold and guide their perception. Right? So the hair and the understanding of cultures become critical aspects of all of our interactions on the land. Humans are pack animals.
That's right.
And the energy of a particular person is going to always establish them as the de facto leader, whether they want to be or not. Because you got the right knowledge and the right energy, and you telling the story from an angle that's different from the norm with the receipts, then people look at you as an outstanding phenomenon, an exception to the rule, and become awestruck, and sometimes can take it celebrity worship to the people revealing the situation to them.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fall into celebrity worship, because then you starting to blind yourself again to the truth. You're becoming self-delusional now. You're trying to convince yourself to believe that something outside of you is greater than what's inside of you. And one of the ways you do that is you over sensationalize celebrities. All they are there for is a distraction, to get a low vibrating people something to talk about. At the end of the day, who had to sleep with Jada Pinkett, Will Smith or Chris Rock?
Will Smith.
So whether Will Smith is wrong or right for slapping the slob out of Chris Rock mouth, Chris Rock didn't have to go home with her.
Right.
Chris Rock didn't choose to go home with her. We only care about what we've seen. We don't care about the position of the people that's performing the function. In other words, I understand you're a celebrity, but I want you poor and struggling just like me. Unless they celebrity worshipers. Right? A celebrity worshiper is worse than the one that's the celebrity anchor. Because celebrity anchor wants you to be the celebrity with no compensation for your skill set that you spent your life developing to entertain them. Those are celebrity anchors. And that's the energy that make the celebrity become distant from his fan base. Because a sizable portion of the fan base is haters pretending to be admirers, hating on you under the pretense of admiration. It's the same as what my mama called dry snitching. Alluding to what somebody did to somebody who should be able to figure it out. Man, it wasn't me. I wasn't there with Tone and them. Wait. Who was Tone and them? Oh, no. I'm just saying. I wasn't with nobody. I was by myself. You dry snitching ass motherfucker. Where's Tone and them at?
You already told.
What they tell you before they was going that you decided not to go? Man, I ain't gonna be putting them niggas' business out there like that. You already know how they get down. They known to be stick-up men, so they going to rob something automatically when you say that you dry snitching SOB.
Right.
Same thing, just in a different arena.
Yeah. Hey, Rod, another question. Because we just read that the hair was the antennas, and I noticed that if hair give us some kind of power, they allude to that fact in they allegory stories in the Bible about Samson and his hair getting cut off, right? And I noticed right around the 60s when we was rocking these afros, we started getting this power. Hey, we finna fight back. Like it's gonna be there was a different type of a different generation of movement with the afro, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, they come out with the perm. Now listen at this. Now Germany, this guy in Germany is the one that put the perm out, right? And it's a lot of stuff that tie in with Germany, like the Adolf Hitler thing, white superiority, and all of this. What if these Germans or somebody else was studying and knew that the hairs are antennas and knew that, hey, we got to go after these guys' hair, that'll cut them off from universal connection, just like you just read. It'll cut them off. Go ahead, could you go in on that?
Look, a lot of that stuff, they giving them credit for creating the perm in 1906. We was perming our hair 10,000 years ago.
That's right. That's right.
They might have rediscovered it, but they didn't invent it. You know, and as far as what Hitler was talking about, he couldn't have been talking about no blonde hair, blue Aryan race unless he was talking about Yakub Graf the devil.
Yeah, he on the same page. He was on the same page with it, according to what Doc said. So it seems like these Germans, it's got all got their hands somewhere in the back end on some kind of scientific. But like you say, I know for a fact that we was doing perm way before these guys when you just said it, because I remember the ancestors used to use back in the 1800s. They used to mix potatoes, and some of they show you actually in the movie on how to, in the movie Malcolm X.
Yeah, that's called conking.
Yeah, conking. That's what it's. Yeah, you already said that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. We've been doing that stuff for thousands of years. Ain't none of that stuff new to us.
Yeah, that's right.
I had to run upstairs out here.
Oh no, you good. You good. Go ahead. Hey, y'all, take a look at this picture right here. This is the 9 ether right here. That now this is the Sands people. You see how you ever see them brothers or them sisters with this type of hair where it's so tight they don't even gotta lock it up, it just automatically kink up like this. That's that real 9 that 9 ether hair right there. Now some people over here got this, and not only this, some of y'all that got the light skinned gene, it don't come from you by. Sometimes it don't even come from you having the pale man mix. It come from these people gene. They got the light skinned gene in them, and so you see them. So a lot of y'all might be light skinned that coming down from the Sands people who was already over here in South America for thousands, maybe even millions of years ago. And I can show proof of that too, that they was down in South America, because they're the subside species of these people is in South America right now.
Look, it's an African presence since early.
Go ahead. Hold on, go back. Right here. This is what you was at right here. All right.
Yeah. So this is the book on Black root science.
Okay.
When I was telling you earlier, the Black root science ties to 9 ether.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, this book was written way after the one Malachi wrote.
Okay.
Right. But it's telling you from a different explanation the same information.
I want to take this book out, Black Root Science. It's like I've seen that book before. All right, this is how.
So this is one of the founding books of the Rasta Nation. Right? I'm a little winded from running up and down the stairs.
I like this right here book. The title of this book.
This is the Royal Parchment Scroll of Black Supremacy. We're going to read the back of it in a minute. I wanted people to see it. This is one of the foundational reading or manuals for the Rasta Nation.
Mm-hmm.
When they reconstituted the Rastafarian nation, they was also rekindling the old Mau Mau of the West. I use the Mau Mau as the reference from Kenya because the Rasta oath is so similar, and they call to arms is so similar to establishing a Mau Mau. I use them as comparative analysis of what I'm talking about. What the rosters don't put in words, I can use the Mau Mau words, what they put in words to explain the actions that's being taken because they still are people.
I'm about to get this book right here, though. This looks like an interesting book. Because I believe Haile Selassie got some connection with Enlil. I'm telling you. This on my look.
This is the back cover. This is the back cover of the book. Right? Now pay attention to the first line. The grammar is like the senses, which seems to us to be indistinguishable from nonsense. Y'all catch that? The grammar is like the senses, the sense, which seems to be indistinguishable from nonsense. In tribal terms, that means they don't know our language like we do, so they can't quite figure out what we're saying. And the whole concoction is so putrid that we wonder what class of people could ever take such rubbish seriously. They quoting somebody as saying that, I think they're making reference to this particular book, but it say this passage was published by the Gleaner newspaper. So now they telling us where it came from. On the 6th of June, 1927, in reference to the Royal Parchment Scroll of Black Supremacy, right? This book influenced the Rastafarian leaders of the 1920s. It emphasized Black pride, Black dignity, and Black glory. Leonard Howell used it extensively. The government banned it. The white plantocracy feared it, which is the Society of Plantation Owners. It's the plantocracy. The Black masses loved it and treated it as sacred as the Bible. Truly a bold and remarkable writing, especially in Jamaica, where downpression of the people is a way of life. Downpression, y'all, that means to suppress people and hold them back. Right? Give thanks to Isis unto Jah Rastafari.
Fire. And you know what I think, Raw, who wrote that first quote based on the ideology of how
they just told us. They just told us it was in the newspaper.
Yeah, but the Jewish guys was the instant ones that inserted it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's who owned the newspaper in the 1920s.
Right? you can listen to how it's worded. That's something that's how they would say it. That's how the Jewish guys would say it.
This is how you know it was written for only certain members of tribes to understand the first sentence. The grammar is like the sense, which seems to us to be indistinguishable from nonsense. And the whole concoction is putrid that we wonder what class of people could ever take such rubbish seriously.
Yeah. That's like the Zionist guys.
But remember, when they say that the sense of it is similar to nonsense, they saying they can't make out what they talking about.
Yeah.
That means it's tribally coded to block their ass out, and it makes them confused when they try to figure it out.
Something like a revelation.
Something like a revelation in your dome.
They can't figure they can't figure the riddle out. It's fire.
Oh. This is the Corpus Black Supremacy. When I was going through and I seen it, I said, well, I'm going to show this as a reference too, because it's still tied to the African root science, the Black root science, the science of the nine ether, that is gibberish to people that's not nine ether, right?
Mm.
So go on, roll the corn.
Yeah. So this picture right here is what the Asians like. They say this is Buddha and all these other people, right? But the Chinese don't got hair like that, and like the Asians can't do this with their hair, but our people can do this with their hair. That's how you know we was over there, right? If you look at the hairstyles.
Doing
All right.
kinky twist.
Go back. What you say, Rod?
I said what we call them, kinky twist.
Yeah.
But that is a statue of the Buddha. That one has the origin of India.
Right.
It's not a Chinese Buddha, but the hairstyle she wearing is not necessarily the same hairstyle, but it could be similar. Hers is twisted, but the hair on the Buddha head could also be 7 ether curls. Right? They would still have to use the same patterning to describe it. The only thing is, if you look, they are in concentric rows and they're not in what we call staggering rows, which means that it's indicating more of a deliberate hairstyle than a haphazard hairstyle. Right? Because the art would have reflected. So by being in linear patterns, and it looked like it's been parted between the sections, indicating that there would be a similar hairstyle to what she's wearing.
Yeah, the reason why I say, because if you look at the little galaxy-looking squirrels right there on her head, and you look at them right here, galaxy-looking squirrels, you can see.
That's the energy harvesting. That's how you learn how to gather the electromagnetic or the static electric energy in your hair and concentrate it and control it.
Now this is Sans, man. If you look at that hairstyle, boy, that's that 9. It's a couple of people over here. Well, a whole bunch of people over here got this hair right here. Right? That was so tight. Well, they don't even got it. If they don't brush it, it'll lock up like this naturally.
They also don't. That texture of 9 ether doesn't grow very long.
Go ahead.
He don't have to go to the barbershop. That's it for him. He don't need no line. He don't need no fade. He can just leave it just like that from now on, and it's not gonna change.
Yeah, and I noticed they don't grow that much hair on their face neither. I want to go look.
No, that's right. And half of the tribes over here, the men didn't have to grow hair on their face.
Yeah,
and the ones they did used to shave it mostly clean.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's what made me question that beard thing. That about the
That's only certain tribes. The ones who lived in the colder climates was the ones more likely to grow hair on their face.
Makes sense. Because I know the Hindus can't grow hair on their face. The Sans man don't really grow hair on his face. It's like different tribes that don't grow hair. All right, yeah. So here goes some hair on the armax, and you can see,
That's what we commonly call either cornrows or dreads. But by the patterning of it, it would tell me that it's more likely deliberately braided that way in a cornrow, or what we commonly call today French braids, rather than a dreadlock. Because the dreadlocks would be also protruding from under his helmet. So it tells me that those people did work with their hair.
It's braids. Those are braids with a beads at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Braids the beads. And that bead looked like some kind of, or it might be that same little squirrel like it was on his head, like the other person's head, like a braid with a squirrel at the end. Because you remember that other one had looked like that squirrel right there too, on their head. All right, so you remember I was telling you about when they were talking about the redhead kings and all this.
Yeah.
All right, so these people right here are the Bantu people. They really the same people. All the people I just showed you really all the same people. These are the Bantu people. They was in America. I'm telling you, I got pictures.
They're not the same. They have mirror tribes.
Mirror tribes.
Right. Where you have people with the same phenotype, culture, background.
Yeah,
right. So they mirror tribes. The tribes be separated for so long, they probably came from the same people, but over time and the geography they at, they're not the exact same people. They just call kindred tribes at that point.
Yeah, we got more mixes. See over in America, we was the melting pot. So we more of an upgraded species than the Africans because we got more of the superior, like more different extra, like it's a whole list of
I think that came out like I don't think that came out right, but we have evolved differently than the people of Africa evolved. Most of the tribes on the West Coast from what they call the Niger Condorfian stock, which indicates sub-Saharan West Coast Africa, are plants from over here to over there. But we always intermarry over here in the royal families. This is what the breakdown in the European front royal families genetics was breaking down because they wasn't outsourcing foreign blood from other royal families because they was trying to maintain the appearance of what we call whiteness. Right? So they didn't incorporate bloodlines from other tribes that was outside of their little tribal network, which causes the genetics to break down. Well, Americans been knowing about genetics from the beginning, so we always incorporated the royals from other parts of the world into our royal families' bloodlines to diversify the genetics. And most of the people from this land had old blood, so they was able to correct a lot of birth defects in foreign royal families. So it was calibrating the earth to a prime template of bloodlines.
Yeah, but a lot of people in Africa got old blood type too.
That's because they came from over here.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. We the same people, but we just upgraded. America people just a little bit more upgraded because we got more mixes than them. They more of an original potency from leaving from over here. You know what I'm saying? Like they left from over here, but over time, say if we was them, right? And then different groups just came in and began mixing in with us. Stronger groups, groups that were strong with us, and we just wanted to combine, like you say, combine our blood and this and that. And then we over time, we just became a different species, but we the same, but we got more.
That's why you call them kindred tribes.
Yeah.
Y'all related, but you're not the exact same tribes no more.
Right. That's right.
Over time and separation.
That's right.
It's a kindred tribe.
That's exactly what
I'm saying. The way you explaining it, people won't understand that us not being Africans and they trying to tie us back to Africa, what you saying.
Look, like
so
what we need to do is we need to drop the word African, because the time I'm talking about, the word African didn't even fucking exist.
Right.
Now I'm talking about, the word African didn't even exist. This land was one land almost when the time I'm talking. See, the African thing, we still trapped on the African thing. Oh, these people from Africa, and like we trying to separate the lands, like all this land is not one land. That's crazy. All this land is one land.
We not the people that's born from the original bloodlines over here not responsible for the liberation of the continent over there.
Yeah, that's the way it is now. But
right, the ones over here responsible to liberate this continent over here.
Yeah, I ain't saying that. I ain't got no problem with that.
We still got to explain this for people that's watching, Elder.
Okay, go ahead.
So when you looking over there now, Garvey said it, Elijah said it, a couple more of the elders said it. When you see Africa start to liberate themselves from colonization, just know it's going to be being done all over the world.
Right.
Right. And the most visible expression of the total liberation of the continental people over there is the Ibrahim Traore story, and how he's picking up the mantle that Muammar Gaddafi laid down trying to unify the countries. He's more successful because Muammar Gaddafi's bloodline was Arab and they didn't trust him. Even though they didn't have a reason not to, but history is the foundation by which they didn't trust Gaddafi. They thought he had ulterior motives. But Ibrahim Traore, coming from the bloodlines of the land, looking like the people, they more likely to trust him. And when they see the success he's garnering in Burkina Faso, then it triggers I'm joining on with his program because it's working. We doing the same thing over here differently, right? We on an information campaign that's just as critical as the gun running campaign. And this is why we have to make clarifications when we refer to the people from the continent over there, because you got people over here screaming we ain't gonna never be free if Africa ain't free, but they not finna go help Africa get free.
Right.
Right. So they tend to distract from the war at home. They don't want to pay attention to that war. It's too overwhelming. But if they can stand on this side of the ocean and talk about the war on the other side of the ocean, and they don't have to participate, then they the most gangsterous liberators Africa ever seen. But they ain't finna go over there. Right? It is unapologetically African as they might want to be. Take your ass to Africa and help them get free. Because they doing it. They not talking about it. They literally living it. Whereas the tribes over here is doing from a different angle. We still fighting the same war. The physical progress you see taking place on the continent mirrors the unseen progress that we making over here. We taking over the algorithm of social media just to prove to them that more than one of us know what's going on. 5 years ago, there was only a handful of people telling us who we was. 5 years later, you got people from every tribe popping up on social media telling the real. You even got pale faces and $5 Indians doing it too. They know who we is.
Yeah. But you know what I think? You know what I think, Rod? I think once we get through separating everybody, and then we get down to it, it's gonna come back to what's your blood type. If we all got old blood type, we the same people spiritually, because the spirit is in the blood.
Well, based on the marriage and intermarriage between the bloodlines, that's not going to be a good standard any longer. It's gonna expire, because you're gonna have A and B bloods being born to O blood parent, right? So
two O, you say two O have an A and B? That's happening.
Yeah. It used to be that when you cross certain blood types, the woman's body used to reject the fetus and she'd have a miscarriage. Well, they got drugs they giving the women now where they bypass this process.
Hey, well, whether people want to believe me or not, when they talking about the red hair kings that was in Utah, they talking about our peoples who put this red clay stuff in their head. They call it Bantu people, and they was in America, and they tied in with the Phoenicians. That's the same people. These people right here was in America too.
Well, you had people that looked similar, but they might not have been the same exact people. Remember, America had more diversified phenotypes than any other land. We had everything from chocolate dark to high yellow before 1492. People that could have passed for European that was full blood native. But that's a whole nother ball game. That ain't what we was. You showing, yeah.
You know somebody over here look like her, don't you? She look like my little sister. This
There's
is
a
how
lot of little girls in the hood
these
look
are
like
Native
that.
Americans, man. These is Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they look like. They're gonna tell you Egypt. This is Egypt. We standing on right here. This is Kemet. Hey, but look here.
Go back to the very, very first picture out of the one I told you to save for last.
Yeah. I'm about to go back to that like this. Hold on. Probably go to the rest of the stuff. I got a couple more slides.
Mm.
Here you go, right here.
That's the next picture.
You got it, Rod?
It's the next picture, Elder.
Oh, it's the next one.
That one. Okay, now look at the picture. Can you blow it up, Elder? Right. You see the one standing there in the back got an afro?
Yeah.
Okay, now they didn't call it an afro. Scroll down to the right, because the hairstyle is named after this tribe.
Yeah.
All right, now it's a close-up of a painting by Rudolph Steger titled, scroll down a little bit past your picture, Elder.
Okay, as far as I can go.
No, I need to see the top a little better.
Oh, okay, hold on.
The first sentence, there you go, right there. Deputation of Indians from the Chippewa tribes to the president of Upper Canada, right? Now, when you get down, it's not an afro, it's a Chippewa. The hairstyle is called a Chippewa.
Fire.
Black Americans being victim of identity, history, and cultural theft by the Albions and their mulattoes naturally explain the urge to beautify themselves by combing out their hair to the place where the Albions told them they all came from Africa. Hold on.
Hey, y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It says Africa do not comb their hair. Africans do not comb their hair in that manner, except to mimic Black Americans, who amazingly wear themselves, subconsciously channeling their true ancestors in case of the Chippewa.
So now you know that the Afro Chief is actually another name for Chippewa Chief.
Fire. I need to write this down.
So the hairstyle was originally called a Chippewa, not an afro.
Right.
Scroll back up to the pictures and let them see it again, Elder.
Because when Afro tied in with African, like they didn't come out with that till like the 70s, like the Afro.
That's why we doing this, so that people will know that the afro is not an African. The only Africans that wear the afro is called the Fuzzy Wuzzy or the Hadendawa.
And they was over here.
They came from over here.
Yep. The Mad Jays. I got them. I used to show them with shields and swords. They was called a Tamaran police. And it's some connection with John Hawk. I'm working on a series of. I'm about to really crack the codes on this though. I'm about to finish them off for once and for all on how they switched us around. I'm working on it right now. I'm telling you, it's some heavy duty stuff because I'm telling you, this was Tamaray. That's what the frontliners covering up.
So the hairstyle they call it natural is the same as the afro but shorter.
Right. Right. This was one too that you wanted that went with that for the other one, I think.
Mm-hmm. That was just a flyer. But remember, Afro is a Chippewa.
Yeah, that's fire. And then I looked up too. I looked it up too. They said that another tribe it wasn't called Afro. They call it the Kita or the Netter, the God crown. Like a god, it means translated to God crown.
Mm-hmm.
The Netter. So they didn't start calling it Afro until later. Now, what I want to show too is this right here, Roy. A lot of people got like a lot of these hairstyles that they are on the land.
You was breaking up, Elder.
They doing this down in Florida now. Okay?
Remember I told you some of the dread
This
styles?
right here is done in Florida right here.
Remember I told you some of the dread styles mimic the palm leaf?
Right.
And then I described it. This is what I was describing.
Right here. This right here.
Yeah.
Fire. And that's right here how the Chiefs used to wear their hair. Some of the Seminole Chiefs.
It depends on where they was from.
Yeah.
This is what they was having such a hard time trying to figure out, because you had different chiefs leading different assaults at different times, and they couldn't figure out because all of the chiefs had a different look.
Right.
Like these right here. Right. Then you had the ones with the afros. Then you had the pie face ones, the ones that look like Mongolians. Right. Them styles none of these styles are new to us. We've been doing this stuff for thousands of years. That's why you see it in the paintings.
Yep. Same dang hairstyle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just like, you gotta know this dude never seen this picture. So like what? Like, is it like a DNA thing that make us want to go like stay with what is it? Like how do we?
I call it genetic memory, because you gotta remember, all of your direct ancestors, you are a funnel.
Okay.
You the point to the funnel. Okay. All of them is feeding into the future through you.
Yeah.
Right. So you gotta have all of their energy, which comes with their memories. And you projecting them to the future. Right? This is naturally in your DNA. The same as crip walking. Right. The same as bee walking. The same as hoover stomping. The same as line dancing. The same as boots on the ground where your fans at. It's all the same. It's in your DNA, and at certain times you're going to see certain things manifest again in order to stir you to awaken from the slumber, because you already been through it. You already know it all. You just don't remember right now, because they exploited us with the blood magic that kept us in the Kingu continuation of the Ninnersin spell or the Sinner's Right spell.
Right. That brother even light skinned, like that brother even his features even resemble that dude, that Mayan dude. The color, the tone, everything. That's crazy. Ain't that crazy, Rod?
Yeah. Look.
All right, so yeah, go ahead. What you gonna say? You gonna say something about that one?
No, not about that one.
Okay, all right. Yeah, this one, another one about hairstyle with the what you call it right here, the cowlick. What you call it the galactic squirrel.
Mm-hmm. Galactic swirl.
Yeah, these are Americans. The real Americans can wear their hairstyle like this.
Yeah. Now you see how the other guy had more space between each ridge and his waves, and this little guy. That means that if he let his hair grow, this guy hair would be tighter curl or more kinky than the other guy hair. That picture right there, that lady behind him, that's not the same hairstyle. That's like what they call a bun or a bonnet. But it do look similar from the lines.
Yeah. Look at the waves. I
Now
know
this
M.
one right
Hope
here,
said,
yeah, this is a priest right here in training. He could have had the waves.
oh, it could have been a damn
I
Kufi.
think I think it's a cap they used to wear that's similar to a what the thing them the
The
Muslims
Kufi.
be wearing? Kufi.
Kufi. Yeah. It would look like a Kufi. It's my favorite hats. My favorite hats is the Kufi. Yeah. I got all colors. All right, here's another one.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I know this us. That's how I know that we the real Americans. We the real ancient Egyptians. This us right here all
We
day long.
the ancient everywhere on earth.
Yeah.
We are the ancient ones returning in a new era. Earth has went through changes.
Right. Right.
We have to figure out how to get us to a better place from the place we at and worry about that more so than trying to change where we at. To take the misery away, you have to change the systems. All of that stuff is hardwired into the systems.
Right.
The 9 areas of people activity. Anything else you want to go over in there?
Yeah, this right here, where it says that blonde hair says just blonde hair has significant less movement, Europe melanin than dark pigment than the black hair. So it's saying that it goes this right here, just going over that black hair is more melanin than blonde hair. All right, same thing right here where it says black blonde hair is weaker than black hair. But all of our sisters to go put the blonde hair. Now, like you said, Rod, we don't care like how you said it about people want to look good. But I'm just saying, according, it's a lot of things that prove that blonde has a curse. Even the Bible, even though a lot of people don't say, "Oh, the Bible's a comic." Rod said the Bible's a comic book to him, right? That was funny, right?
But I also said the Bible is got the astrology timetable in there, and they got a lot of keys in there. But the way that they've misused the Bible, I try to stay away from it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because you have to explain too many things about the book to get people to understand what its purpose was.
Yeah.
It's a lot of science in the Bible. It's one of the greatest books ever written, truthfully. But it's the fervor of delusion that come with the ones who know how to manipulate what it says to put you in your trance to keep you from thinking for yourself. But yeah, it's a comic book too.
that was funny when you said that last time, man. I almost fell out of my chair on that one, man. That comic book line you did.
It is because it's based on mythology. All of the comics is based on myths. The same myths, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So like the last 2 scrolls was talking about blonde hair being less melanin, being weaker. The Bible and Leviticus, the Old Testament, also backs that up when it says that it was a curse. That yellow, what says yellow thin hair right here in the so the yellow thin hair is blonde hair. If you go back and read that, follow people that's been at the speed, that's Leviticus 13 for my Bible guys. Now, Rod, these people with the 6 ether. Are these the Dravidian looking people? The Dravidian connection?
Those were the original. So all of them don't have the same texture of hair. Some of them look like the old Jacksons, but her bloodline. This is one of the daughters. She's from one of the Inky bloodlines, from one of his wives from the Pleiades, and her skin was literally navy blue.
Yeah.
But when she mixed with Inky, some of them had the hair like the Jacksons in the 70s, and some of them had hair like this that they got from the mother side.
Yeah.
So you got 2 lines of Dravidians. The only common denominator is they're all dark.
Yeah, dark. Right. Here's more of a reference to what you were saying right here.
Mm-hmm.
See, she got more of like the 7 right here. Then she got more of a 6. Yeah. So he, like, I know some girls over here look like her too. Some little
Yeah,
girls.
she looked more Asian, like the old Chinese and Koreans used to look,
Yeah,
the Vietnamese.
yeah, yeah. The original ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So these people right here are all down in South America with the
Those are Melanesians.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Remember I told you had some of them with dark skin and blonde hair?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about right here.
And they still got the 8. Like, I know they still got some got the 8 ether with the blonde.
He is looking 9.
Yeah, like
They,
so his might
but they got 9. They do got 9 ether. We had those same kind of people over here.
Yeah, yeah. I know
That's
we
why I was telling you about how the sun had bleached my hair when I went to Mississippi. It gets lighter in the sun.
Yeah. It's the tyrosine in their brain also causes the hair to go and turn that color like this right here, but it's still like that's like a 9 right there. Look like 9, at least an 8.5 for sure. All right, so this what I wanted to get around to because your tape was on the afros. Now here's he looked white though, Rod, but look at his hair though. You know what I'm saying?
How many drops of blood do it take?
Like he look like an albino though. Like what you think, Rod? How one drop?
There's a lot of Europeans with this texture hair that if you put in if you put in original Caucasian, they're gonna have afros. Right? Those were the sons of Canaan.
Yeah, Canaanite.
They was off the Albion line. If you go to African Presence in early Europe, edited by Ivan van Sertima, it's a doctor, I forgot his name, but he wrote an essay on the Grimaldi, which is the description that the Canaanite by Malachi give for the Canaanite origin. It's the same story, right? But the essay in the African presence in early Asia is explaining to you scientifically what Malachi is using to show it to you in the religious texts. Because when he wrote the sons of Canaan, he was in Sarula.
Yeah, right.
And when he wrote the Pale Man, he was in Sarula. The science is still the same science, but he's showing it to you Quranically and biblically, whereas the dude writing in the African presence in early Europe, he's giving it to you biochemically.
Okay.
Right. Based on based on types of albinism, because one type you can tan, another type you can't.
Right.
Right. And this is how they end up with hair like this. This is what the one drop of blood does to you too. It make you look like you ain't from the bloodline, but the hair tell the story because you can't hold that texture unless you got some of the blood.
That's right. Ain't no way. So these are real either the Canaanites or got that one that they mulattoes from that one drop of blood. Look at this dude hair right here.
Yeah. You got to know this. A lot of the people that's passing blow dry their hair till it's straight, and they have to blow dry it before it dry, or else it'll turn into this, and then they'll be exposed.
Wow.
So they have to hurry up after the shower and blow dry their hair so it don't freeze up. So a real pale face won't know they just passing.
Wow, that do make sense, bro. That makes sense. All right, we gotta.
But you could tell she a sister, but she's just as light as any pale face.
Yeah, she an albino. Yeah, albino sister.
But you see, she got dark eyes.
Yeah.
That's type the class 2 of albinism explained in the essay.
She's albino too. Albino. Yeah, here's a dude over in Africa, and then this little Uzi, he from over here. They look just alike. Matter of fact, I'm gonna come back and do this. Is my last picture, but I'm gonna come back and do a video of people that look just alike people in Africa, like people in America that look like people in Africa. I already I got the tape already done already, and it's loaded up already. I'm just gonna do it again since nobody watched it. It's
Well, you gotta
called,
remember, just because they look like us don't mean they us.
I know it.
You know, because the imposter married into our family, so some of our family members is them living with us.
Right.
We see you too, Black Devil.
All right. My screen.
All right, you about to roll the video.
The videos. I think I only had 2 videos, and they were gonna be talking about them getting. Now I can ask you the questions. We got about 20 minutes. Well, we're gonna take questions from the crowd. Well, we'll take questions from the crowd. Drop your. I'm gonna ask the first question, but hey, the crowd, if you got any questions, based on what we did tonight, or any other questions, drop it in the chat, and then we'll go from there. Now, Rod, this is what I wanted to ask. Now, do you think we take as Nubians, knowing that our hair is antennas and being that who we are with hair, do you think we take our hair serious enough? Like some people don't give it that. Like me, I brush my hair, I put wave, I do the waves with the wave cap and everything, but a lot of people don't take care of their hair. Like if it's an antenna, if it's really an antenna and you ain't taking care of that joint, you can have bad signal. So what's your thought on that, bro?
Okay, remember in 80s, late 80s, especially going into the early 90s, you had all these exotic haircut styles that barbers would do. You had the high top fade, the Gumby left, Gumby right.
Yeah.
Right. Asymmetrical hairstyles for the women, geometry and hairstyling.
Yeah.
The reason all this is because your hair expression is derived from the energy you channeling in your natural human nature, following the order of nature, changes the hair to reflect the energy that you feel because it's a message given to the rest of the species, to other humans, right? So when you keep your hair in different styles, it tells the content of what you're feeling, what you're going through.
Right.
Right. Yours right now, judging by your haircut and your appearance, clean shave, right? You feel self-confident and ready to put yourself out for scrutiny. You feel confident enough to take in whatever come because you in your energy, you in your field. My hair, on the other hand, say whatever this sucker going through, he all over the place. Right? Now, why would a chief allow himself to be all over the place, and why did he need to express the energy of being all over the place to the general public? Now, if you're drawing from multiple dimensions, different pieces of information, in order to bring it into the current realm, you all over the place, literally. So when the people see that and they see you can competently describe it, it makes them understand that being all over the place is not necessarily a bad thing. But to be aware of why you all over the place and what you're doing, right, expressed in appearance. Wise words being spoken, the gray beard, right? The knowledge is still intellectual, less gray hairs on the top, right? So now because the words of wisdom can be spoken, thus says the beard. The intelligence that's been gathered can be disseminated to more people through the lenses of wisdom. So now you work in left brain, right brain in order to pass the message on subconsciously through the physical appearance. Right? And when you fold your arms as you intently listen, it's locking the energy, you bear hugging, meaning that you holding on to the code.
Hey, Rod, what you think about what you think about women or anybody and weave? Like you already said, you on your perspective on like whatever people do is their own business, kind of move to that fact. But do you think like the putting somebody else's hair with your hair would add a different energy? Like say if you got like a certain type of energy, and then you get this person's hair that had a whole nother energy, you add it to your hair, would that add to your energy? Go ahead.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
But you see, if you don't know where the hair coming from and why they cutting their hair, then you have no knowledge of what energy coming in. And the only way you can use it to your advantage at that point is to be a natural born chaos magician.
Interesting.
Because when you put other people's energy in like that, everything they went through is in their hair. If they cut their hair, they cut it for a reason. If it was financially, everything they went through was from a poverty position.
Right.
If that's the cause. If it was ritual, that means that whatever they lived through is being kept and pent up in the hair. We used to make our own wigs. Now we rely on foreign nations to send us foreign hair.
India.
Right? Remember, the original hair extensions was made out of sheep, goat, and over here, it was also made out of like the tail of the horse, the mane of the horse.
Yeah.
Right. This is why we call it horsehair anyway.
Right. That's right.
Right. And sometimes the daughter of Big Mama, the big matriarch, she wear a long ponytail because she's indicating her rank. But sometimes her hair don't grow long enough, fast enough. So Big Mama say, you go cut that ponytail off and we gonna make it into your ponytail. So they go out there, they send one of them uncles out there to cut the hair off the horse tail. So that Big Mama can make baby girl her ponytail. That's on the quarter horse, on the flip. That's 3 up, 1 down, make it look like you skate. It's an old cowboy terminology to spread the word, like Thunderbird.
Say, Rod. Oh, go ahead. I thought you was finished.
Go ahead. I'm done.
Hey, so when because I looked it up, and the Indians they do it as a ritual when they want to get right with their God and clean their sin. They shave their hair bald, right? It's like a part of a ritual over in India. That's how they be getting most of the hair. Now, so when they get the hair, could they do like a yabba dabba do or abracadabra over the hair to cleanse the energy? Put some do some sage over it or something. So
Yeah,
some of it gonna stay weird, whether we say it or not. But so is it something they can do to cleanse the energy of it? Go ahead.
Yeah. Anything that you use that's an energy carrier, that's whether it's a stone or whether it's a dagger or a necklace or a ring or crown, whatever.
Yeah.
When you first get it, to cleanse it, you should automatically have you like a table set out with like rock salt. You sit the item on the salt, right? And then you put it where both the sun and the moon can hit it. and you leave it there until you feel like it's okay to move it, because you will sense it as it's cleansing. Every time you walk past, it'll be like you walking past a quiet washer. Right? You can lay the packs of hair out like that. Right? You can expose them to green light. The green light is the frequency of love, which neutralizes none of the negative energy can stay under the green light. It has to flee. It's like the Moors say, when the truth on the manifest, falsehood flee. Right? So when you understand that you're using anything of somebody else's energy, you should automatically have a protocol of energy cleansing as part of your natural lifestyle.
Right.
But that was taken from us with our voodoo culture, or what they call voodoo culture. That was our natural sciences, where Big Mama used to always teach all of the kids how to cleanse the gifts given to them so people can't use magic on them.
Yeah, they happen down south a lot, Louisiana.
Yeah. They got salt pails at all of the old farms. It used to be a salt pail. They're going to bury something in that salt pail to cleanse it. But you want to expose it to the sunlight and the moonlight because you want to charge it with both energies. If it's gold, especially the sunlight. If it's silver, especially the moonlight, because it's deriving from source power. Right? So you got to know the science and the magic that come with the color of the light. Because you allowed to use replicas when the original can't be found, to use a suitable replacement is and the nearest facsimile of the actual thing. So when you're using your energy cleansing, you don't have to have the actual sun. You can use a light bulb that glows yellow. Right? If you need to use the red energy of Mars, you can use the red light when you charging war implements for power. So it's like having where the barbers clean their clippers with the blue light and the purple light. Right? You could change the color of the bulb in order to change the frequency that you charging something with. But the salt gun ground it out, right? So you leave it on the salt, and then you charge it up with the element that is most powerful, is, depending on what it is. But if it's like stones, you use the sun and the moon to charge it. Right?
Now, can you use elements? Because I noticed that in the class they used to teach us that when you combine that with an element like water, fire, or earth, like dirt, right? Connect it with the dirt. So, is that good to add another power? Because I used to charge my crystals with the sunlight and the ground, with the dirt, earth, and the sunlight and water.
You can do that. You can use water too. Right? Sometimes you can put stones in water and sit them out in the sun. And the water is going to take a couple drops of it and freeze it. The water going to tell you what the energy is. Wait a couple days, freeze it again, and you'll see the change in the energy by the form the water takes.
Yeah, I've seen that, bro. Now this next question says all right. That's another one. It says now somebody said something about like rocking hats. Do you think because I know a lot of guys that rocked a lot of hats when they was like in their mid age, they got bald spots in the middle now. Like my brother, he rocked a lot of hats. Like me, I rock the kufi a lot, but I really have I go outside and let the sun hit that part of my head. Why you think? And it could be a trait too that when people go bald right there in the like at like early age they go bald. But do you think that's from wearing a lot of hats? I know the guys that wear a lot of hats they get bald right there in the middle.
Bald spot in the middle is a mother to son trait. It's passed on the mitochondria. They probably have a past life habit of wearing hats most of their life to cover their bald spot. So when they incarnate in this life, when they're young, they just naturally drawn to wearing the hat. But they still had to have the trait in order to lose the hair. Because you have some of them that might come in with the memory but don't got the trait. And they still wear hats and got all their hair.
Yeah, I've seen it too. I wear a lot of hats, but I wear kufis a lot though. So that's my thing. What else? Hey y'all, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We got Rod Hayes' Cash App on the screen and his PayPal if you want to show him some love from the class. I'm gonna put some more questions on the thing. We just want to hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to keep Raw out the plantation, man. We got about 1,000 people on. That's only showing 750, but we got about 1,000 on. Everybody send them $5, man. Put them in the game. If you can't do that, do $1, do $2. We take whatever you got. It's just all love. It's just all love. We ain't tripping. Now, Rod, a quick questions on updates on what's happening this week because I got it written down. Now, somebody told me that, and I'm still looking for this this interview. Well, Trump said that he was the last president. I mean, not that he was the last president. That he hasn't stopped being the president since, like you've been saying, since the first time he became when he was president.
That was the speech he did when they called all of the generals together.
Okay, all right. Okay,
he said the 45th, the 46th, and the 47th.
Okay.
President.
Yeah, okay. So he came out and said it because somebody said you need to go live on that. Trump just came out and said that he was still the president during Biden's administration.
Yeah. When we was that deep in war, we can't change the president anyway. And then they also used it to do a sting operation to trap the ones that were still in elections red-handed so they can't escape. They can't say they didn't do it.
Yeah, we got you.
Right? So you let them run their scam and then you strategize from the background for 4 years with your military top brass.
Man, smooth.
It's all military strategy 101. Sometimes you have to let your enemy advance in order to seize them and capture them. Right? You got to catch him in the act. It's better to catch him in the act than catching him after the fact. Because the case is stronger catching him in the act, going through with the act, than it is if you discover after the fact. Now you have to put too many pieces together. But when you know what you're looking for and then it shows up, you got to record it. And that's why they told us exactly how the election was stolen and who did it. And the guy who actually did the hacking literally got caught in real time as he was leaving the building for changing the vote because the military had him under surveillance all the way up to the building, going into the building, sitting at the computer, logging into the server, and hacking the election. They had the video from inside the building, is videoing what he's doing on the computer while he's doing it. Right? So when he leaves, the video show him leaving the building, going outside, and as he turned the corner, he get apprehended by military intelligence, because they knew he was going to hack the election because they had intelligence on who the asset was and where he was going to be operating from already, because somebody had to set it up. So while they was setting it up, they was recording what they was saying was being done and following the people that they was asking to do it and surveilling them and cataloging whether they participated fully or whether they abandoned, because some people aborted some of the missions they were sent on, like the hit they put on Ali Carter when they drove down the streets of New Orleans. The Manchurian candidate gave them a no answer. He wasn't going to do it. Right? So they have some people whose conscience is waking up and they can't activate them to do the dirt. Right? So when you seen all of that stuff playing out, you didn't know what you was looking at. But they was monitoring them the whole time. They had a war room observation of all of the major election sites where they observed people putting multiple ballots in the ballot box. They video recorded them doing it. They released some of the videos, but they got hundreds of them.
Yeah, I seen some of it.
Right? So they caught the election red-handed as a coup attempt. The coup attempt, because most people don't know, if a foreign-born person is elected into the office of the president of the United States, that is considered a foreign takeover. And it voids all of your constitutional government. Because now you have to activate your military government because you've been infiltrated and your highest level of security has been breached by a traitor, by an asset of a foreign government. And when that happens, you have to figure out a way to catch everybody involved in that kind of event, because it's not supposed to happen under the constitutional government if everybody is doing the job they're supposed to be doing. This is why during the Obama administration, Trump kept asking for about his birth certificate. And then nobody paid attention to the FBI analysis explaining how the whole birth certificate is fraud, but they put it in the public domain way back then.
Yeah, 3 layers to it.
Right? So now the birth certificate of fraud, he's on video saying he was born in Kenya. Whether he was born in Kenya or not, I don't know. Right? But he also recorded as being born in the Philippines. But that's his CIA cutout through Lolo Soetoro.
Yeah.
Right? So while they're giving him his CIA cutout, his point of origin is Boys from Brazil cloning program of Akhenaten.
Right, we see it.
Right? So they trying to usurp leadership by inserting somebody to overthrow the government. This was called the Bush plot, commonly referred to as the Garden plot. And he was the gardener. The old man Bush was the gardener. He makes him the highest ranked member of Illuminati over here. He was the one who was supposed to create the American Union and bring out the Amero. But he got caught and he had to shift his agenda and try to do it a different way. And so his little protege, William Jefferson Clinton, and his little brothel slut, Hillary, was the first line of defense. He had to use the Democrats.
Right.
Right? Now remember, it was under the old man Bush, the first World Trade Center situation happened. And while we was singing songs talking about blow up like the World Trade, right? Then under the Clintons, it was the federal building. Then under the second George Bush, it was the same Twin Towers.
Right.
Right? That's called 3 knocks to a finish. His next thing is he got to get a CIA asset that was under his direct control into the position to be his coup de grace in seizing the power. So they put Barack up to it.
That's right. His whole family CIA.
Right. So when they put Barack up to it, he's beholden to the old man Bush, the same as Clinton's, the same as George W. and Jeb Bush.
And Reagan, a little bit. He rigged Reagan.
He took the power through Reagan. Remember, he was never supposed to be a politician. He was the director of the CIA.
Right.
Right. Then all of a sudden, because the original running mate for Reagan was supposed to have been the governor of Michigan at the time. I think it was Monahan, if I'm not mistaken. But at the Republican convention, George W. came out there, and Ronald Reagan didn't know George was going to be his running mate until about an hour before it was announced. But the whole Republican Party knew. See, Ronald Reagan got us a very special history that we don't talk about too. Remember, he was the governor of California for years.
Yeah.
And as the governor of California, he had some dealings and experiences that he needed to get to the seat of the president to have the clout to expose, which was detrimental to the CIA. Governors of border states have far superior powers to secure borders from the military than interstate governors. This is how Schwarzenegger was able to sign off on freezing Tookie. Because he had access directly to military channels that could perform it without having to tell the president.
Right.
So he signed off on it. So we see a lot of stuff going on that part of the culture, but because we don't remember the culture, we don't recognize what we see.
Hey, this is my last question that we could get up out of here, bro. Now, we've been having the Nigerian candidate. They had like 6-7 different shootings in 1 week prior to last week. But the main incident that I wanted to ask you about, and it's because it's still continuing. I don't know if they even caught the guy yet. In Houston, black women every week or every 2 or 3 days or so, a black woman is found dead in a bayou in Houston. So I guess
that's serial killer. That's an active serial killer down there.
So you heard about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, yeah. So what's your take on that, man? Like,
it's an active serial killer.
Is that Nigerian? You think connection?
No, he's the serial killer. He was wired that way by his mama not teaching him certain stuff.
Wow, that's crazy.
She gave him too much affection, and there was no disciplinarian that was capable of issuing discipline. He's ruined.
Wow.
His humanity has been cut out by too much love and not enough discipline.
With all the FBI stuff they got, they ain't caught that guy yet, though. You know, with all the FBI,
The serial killer is one of the hardest people for agencies to catch because of the intelligence level that normally accompany them. They normally are genius level people, but they have they all have a common upbringing. Right? Serial rapists too. And it all stems with the relationship with their mother, whether she was overly protective of the son and allowed him to get away with stuff she should have corrected or not. You can women make serial killers by accident. And out of trying to be more loving parents than disciplinarians. And the balance being off create the imbalanced personality type. And normally there's the underlying sexual trauma associated with the catalyst of the first kill, which sends them on the frenzy.
Sound like it. I like watching them little shows. Hey, y'all, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, y'all. Like I said, you want to show Chief some love. If you in here, because a lot of people are just not coming in. They coming, we about to get ready to get off. We've been on about 2 hours or something. Y'all just not coming in. You gonna have to rewind it, y'all. We're gonna
One
be back.
more thing. You know they just had a big explosion out in California.
What? How long? Let me write that down.
Yeah. But the name of the place is significant. The time of the explosion is significant. The fact that it's video recorded by a news station while it was happening on just a random news station camera is significant.
Look into it. I'm gonna look into all that tonight when I get off.
Right. So we got that going on. The serial killer in Houston.
Yeah.
He got 2 weeks before they catch him.
So you think they're gonna catch him in less than 2 weeks from now?
I think it's gonna be about 2 weeks.
Yeah, because the feds on him now. The feds is in on this now since there's so many
It's
bodies.
a serial killer. They've been caught in the profilers.
Yeah.
And if the profilers is worth half their weight in shit, they'll be able to put his profile together in a couple of minutes. Right? And they're gonna always find the common denominator. It's all gonna tie back to the first body. The body that's been decomposing the longest is the one they're gonna focus on because the first kill is the catalyst for all the rest of them. And it's gonna be the one that's gonna yield the most evidence about the killer. And it's through that one is how they're gonna catch him. And it's not gonna, once they get the profile together, they'll have his name within about 72 hours. But they're gonna take them about 6 or 7 days to nail down his location because he's gonna be somewhat nomadic around the area, like a drifter type. They already know all this though.
Yeah.
So he got about 2 weeks to operate before they catch his ass. They might even catch him in the act, dumping the body.
Yeah, that's how good these people are getting. So that's pretty much all besides I think the random shootings that they've been having, like the guy that ran into the boat or something like that.
You don't remember we already told them that this was going to happen?
Yeah, like they activated a lot of the sleeper cells.
Yeah, they especially in most of the ones we've seen, these events are happening in schools.
Yeah.
Overwhelming majority of them. We just got done telling them, if you don't want nothing to happen to your baby, get them out these damn schools.
That's crazy.
And people still need that babysitter though.
Yeah.
They don't want to get to do the work of putting a community of mothers together that want to protect the children, and the ones who don't got places to be at the school hours can take the children to her house There might be 3, 4 of them to divide the children up and teach them there, as opposed to letting them go to these death camps, because it's only going to get worse until the people pay attention.
Yeah.
Then it's a shame that in the real life, somebody gonna really die to prove a point that your child don't belong there. Somebody gonna be on TV crying about losing their child, saying we should have listened to Rod. We should have. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want mine in there. If you're gonna put them into some type of education, make sure it's something that's a charter school or something that don't have general public access.
Right.
That's the way you're gonna know if it's a Manchurian candidate, because it won't be somebody that go there, it'll be somebody sent there.
Right.
And you'll be able to protect your child better. In the places where they can raise the Manchurian candidate among the people they finna slaughter, he's the easiest one to use because he grew up with these people.
Yeah. And so
They've been seeing him every day, so they don't see him as a threat.
yeah.
All the time between his hypnosis session and his Prozac and Ritalin or his Adderall, right? He's been programmed to be activated on a certain call. They know how to trigger him.
And you think some of them kids from that Project Cabbage Patch who were clone kids, they have a soul? They said they would be easier to mind control them kids. Like doing like they would have probably came out with doing
That came out of a super soldier program that was started under the Moors in Europe.
yeah.
It was a super soldier program. That was what the Cabbage Patch breeding, but that most of the children they called in Cabbage Patch Kids wasn't made literally in the laboratory. They was made in Catholic churches' basements and rituals, which is the source of the orphanage. That's why you always see nuns raising orphans, because nuns was giving birth and they couldn't send them nowhere, so they found a church to turn into the first orphanage. Orphanage is named after Orpheus, patron saint of children. From Greek lore, I think it is.
So the nuns are supposed to be getting booty, right? The nuns are supposed to get booty.
They swear it's the oath of celibacy, but you got to remember, the patriarchy need a certain amount of rate of righteous women in order to maintain their power.
What? That's sick, boy. That's a
It's called the Great Rape Campaign that don't nobody never talk about. But it was to defile the sacred feminine by using temptation rituals in the priesthood. It came from out of the bathhouses of Rome. And they established pools under most of those churches. And in the pool, it was normally about 3 feet, and it was heated water, warm water. And the priest's temptation to eschew sex was by putting new nuns to be playing the part of seductresses into the pool, but he not supposed to penetrate them. They was coming up pregnant.
That's crazy.
Once they started coming up pregnant, then they had to find a church that can raise these children, and they would send a lot of these nuns as church mothers to overlook these children to one monastery, right? And they would raise the children in a regimented format. The regimented format is taken from military school manuals from Egypt and Babylon about rearing children to be beholden to your structure. So those was the children that they was bearing and raising as orphans. Your little orphan Annie story, Annie and Andy. Just what it was all about.
Somebody
So
asked about. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. So when you see this Cabbage Patch Kids, remember when they told Europe to send all of their orphans over here. And then in came the orphan trains with the Cabbage Patch Kids. The orphans was from the raping of the nuns.
Well, they ain't. It
That's
wasn't was it a million nuns getting raped? What about the? So it was test tube kids, but it was some kids coming from the rape campaign.
right. Well, they was test tube babies to begin with.
Oh, okay, all right.
They was test tube babies to begin with.
That's
They
what
was the byproduct of Babylonian breeding. Remember Malachi said the reason they had these defects because it was humans trying to play God.
yeah,
That's what
the
he's talking about.
dirty moves.
Right. That's the Yakub breeding program that Elijah told us about. But we keep skipping over the part where they left Negroes in charge.
Yeah, you think sure right, Roy. You dang sure right.
The Negro was supposed to make sure that the paleface have a pseudo rulership because they wasn't genetically qualified to have a true rulership. But that was part of their plan to recover ascension rights from being laboratory. They needed a drop of blood. Eugenics was written by Enki. Eugenics is a derivative of genetics. The eugenics program produces the reverse psychology to create a standard of beauty, and then you tell the guys you can't have none. Reverse psychology. But you gotta remember, the pale man had his fornication under the consent of the king run for 200 years under the captivity of the family farms. The house Negro gave the management paleface men free run of all of the girls in the family. And they was making babies by it. There was a spread they drop of blood on the fatherland. They was kidnapping whole tribes of women when the men went off to war and children and raping the women and making babies with them. Malachi talked about, I just seen the video today, Malachi was going over that about the Muskogee Creek and why some of them are so light and still got the blood.
Doing Andrew Jackson now.
Right. Now, they didn't use the same method of rape on the men that they used on the women. They used the allure of creating a beauty standard and then telling us we was too savage to have it. It's the only way to get a guy to do something is tell him what he can't do. And this was the eugenics program.
Wow.
Walter Plecker, going back to Andrew Jackson, usurpation. We not the ones that had the genetic deficiency. They only wanted the ones with the drop of blood that got rid of the genetic deficiency as part of the eugenics program. This is what they was testing for. It was celebrated through Hollywood with all of these great actors and actresses passing on the big screen in our face, behind our back. Clark Gables, Marilyn Monroe's, these octoroons acting as if they Caucasians playing a role in the movie. And all the time, all they needed was one drop of blood.
Right. All right. Fire. And on that note, Rod, we at the 2 minute 30. Mark. Hey, y'all, we want to thank y'all for coming out to kick it with us tonight, man. We're going to be back. What today is Friday. We'll be back in 3-4 days from now with more updates. I'm going to keep y'all updated on what's going on. We just dropped the 3-Eye Atlas tape. The AI, then I'm going to do a live on it tomorrow, probably, or the next day. Because I already broke down what it's about. But the main thing is, don't panic. We got this under control. We up next. It's our time to shine. The sun phase, the sun cycle. So all we gotta do is be cool, relax. The ancestors is guiding us and telling us how this gonna all play out. They already told us how it play out. Now it's the time we get rid of the suckers who been parasiting off of us for so long, and we've been trying to figure out how to get these junkers off our back. And then a lot of people came. Then Rod said, "Nah, man, these ain't no white guys. These some niggas, man. They the whole time. The whole time, man. On our back. Trying to crack our back. But we about to get up out of here, y'all. We love you all. Free all the political prisoners. Free the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z. York. Free Larry Hoover. Free Jeff Ford. Free Rashard Jamal. Free all our political prisoners that's locked up. H. Rap Brown. Jeff Ford. Right, y'all. Who else I forgot, y'all? But all of them. You know what I'm saying? The whole list.
All of them.
Huh?
All of them.
Expeditiously.
Expeditiously.
Yeah, I like that word. Expeditiously. That means expediently. You know what I'm saying? Expediently. Hey, y'all, we out, y'all. Peace. Hit that like button for y'all. Get out of here, y'all. We're going to be back. Never have it been made so clear.